Hey, it's Joe. Got another question here. This one is from Debbie Collins. Debbie says, I don't really have a question, but I have a difficulty which could be addressed as a question. This is a situation I'm running into. Everyone who's responded to me through the autoresponder so far with a yes wants a down payment. Many of them are already offering their property as a lease option in their ads. As I'm just starting with this technique, I don't have a huge buyer's list, and I don't feel confident telling the seller I'll get their house filled fast like I hear the students say in the audio, talking to sellers audio. I, in reality, don't feel I can do a better job of getting their property filled than the seller can. He's advertising on Craigslist for a renter or a lease option buyer just like I'd be, so I don't see that I'm giving him enough exchange to deserve the option fee. The sellers are savvy and they want an option fee. I feel very uncomfortable doing this technique, like I'm trying to cheat the seller. Now, if the seller was desperate and didn't know how to get a lease option buyer and I was helping him, then I'd feel fine about it. But the ones who have responded to my ads are pretty savvy sellers who know about lease options and want their lease option fee. So I feel stuck and was thinking of just going after subject to deals or possibly just doing land contracts with the sellers and paying the down payments and then lease option to someone else to recover my down payment and hopefully get some cash flow. But I know this is not what you teach, and you've emphasized to follow your directions exactly until the cash flow is built up, which I agree with. But whenever I don't feel like I'm really deserving of the inflow or feel too uncomfortable with the negotiation due to the feeling I'm cheating a bit, then it doesn't seem to move forward. When I feel very upfront and I feel I'm exchanging in abundance, then it seems to move. Perhaps I need to re-listen to the audios some more and get better on the negotiation, or only deal with sellers who are not as savvy, so this approach would be a help because they couldn't do it on their own. Well, this is an important thing. It's important that you feel like you're giving value to the folks that you're working for. And a lot of it is just a mind shift. Caesar's son was also a general in Rome, and his son wrote him a letter from the battlefield when it was going horribly, and his son said to him, you know, people are dying, it's really a bad situation. And Caesar wrote back to him and said, whenever you find yourself in a situation that is unthinkable, change the way you think about it. Now, that's what you're going to have to do with this situation. And of course, what you're doing here is not cheating someone. It's not unthinkable. But the way you're feeling about it is unthinkable. So how are you going to find within yourself a way that you can serve these people? If you are able to serve these people, and if you can accomplish the stuff that they can do without them having to do it, is that service. You know, I have someone who cleans our house. I have someone who cuts our grass. I have someone who does my taxes. I have somebody who drills on my teeth. You know, I have somebody who does these things for me. I don't do those things myself, even though, other than drilling my teeth perhaps, I could do all these other things. You know, so, but I don't want to do them. And I see the value in having someone else do them who does them for a living, who's an expert at them. Now, you're not an expert yet, but there is a certain amount of fake it till you make it. And if you do a few deals, you'll become an expert. It doesn't take long to become an expert at lease options. So give yourself a little slack. Don't beat yourself up so bad. You're going to solve the problem for these people, and they're going to be happy that you did that for them. And, you know, be a little kinder to yourself, because it's not necessary to feel like everything that you're giving is, is some spectacular, stellar thing. What you're giving is value for what you're charging. And you're not even charging it to the seller. You're charging it to the buyer. And the buyer is paying. He's happy to get a property that he wouldn't have gotten otherwise. The seller is usually happy to make this thing happen as well. So you can work for these people, and they will want to work with you if they think you're competent. So you're not going to be competent at the beginning. So how do you get over that hump? Well, you talk to more people until you find somebody who will work with you. I remember the very first deal I did as a real estate agent. I was pathetic. I was awful. I wasn't very good at it, and I was stumbling my way through the entire thing. I stumbled my way through the phone call, but they liked me. And they decided, yeah, let's give it a try. I convinced them that okay, I may not have much experience, but I'm going to try harder because I want this to work. I need the money, So if you go at it the same way, help these people, come at it with a compassionate heart, go at it and try to solve a problem with them, you're going to find people that will want to work with you, whether they're experienced or not. I've got a lot of people that are more experienced than me working with me because I can solve the problem easier than if they had to do it themselves. And I think that's the goal in this whole process. Your goal is, you go to a restaurant, it's not because they necessarily can cook better than you. There are some things that I cook better than some of the restaurants I go to. Not very many, but there are some things that you can probably do better than the things that you pay other people to do for you. But you don't do it because, it's nice to not have to do it. It's nice not to go through that process. So anyway, give yourself some slack and follow through with this process. These other things that you want to do, they all make sense too. I teach subject to. I teach land contracts. I teach the other structures. I've talked about them on this video series. I talk about them to my mentor students and in the Push Button Method program, not the Push Button Auto Marketer. Push Button Auto Marketer is mainly focused on the for rent method. Although you can do subject to deals, and there's the websites are in the Push Button Auto Marketer for subject tos, I just don't explain how to do it in that system because it's not been built up to make that happen. But if you understand how to do those things, you can use the Auto Marketer to make that happen as well. And you can do these other types of deals. But the most important thing that you can do as an investor is to have cash flow, regular income, reliable income that you can count on coming in month after month after month to pay your bills and give you the life that you want to live and not have to kill yourself hours-wise to make that happen. And the for rent method does that for the most people most of the time, and I've been teaching it for a long time. So and we've gone different directions with this as well, where we start people with subject twos. And I find that the for rent method is the easiest, cleanest way to get started as a new investor from any other way that I've seen. And I would strongly recommend that you focus on that if you can get over some of these fears and some of these trepidations that you've got. All right, Debbie, good luck.